You probably heard all these online music marketing people talk about the importance of having your own mailing list. And the reason is that while social media platforms are great because they're essentially just free marketing, you don't actually own the platform. You could build a following on Instagram or TikTok with tens of thousands of people, but when you post, you're only reaching 10% of them at most, unless your post does really, really well. Also, it's generally a lot harder to sell anything on social media because people are generally just on there to kill some time. Email is a completely different story because it's a platform that you own. You can reach out to all of those people whenever you want, and people are signing up and can remove themselves from your email list whenever they want. The people that you're contacting are literally there because they want to hear from you, not because they like some post that you did months ago. Also, unlike social media, you can craft much longer discussions or experiences with automated sequences, which leads to people on your list being even more engaged and interested and likely to buy something or even come to a show. But what if you don't have a website? How do you go about collecting people's email addresses? Most commonly, people build a landing page on their website and have a form on there to collect email addresses. But if you don't have a website, you could use a form builder on your email platform. But generally, those don't allow you to install a Facebook pixel and run ads promoting your mailing list, which is one of the best ways to get people on your mailing list. While having a website is a great idea, it takes a lot of time to build one. It can be kind of expensive, like $20, $30 a month. It just doesn't make sense if you're just starting out to have a website from day one, even though websites are awesome. Also, not being able to use Facebook ads with the whole form option, put a pixel on there, track conversions, is kind of a no-go because we want to be able to promote our mailing list. The solution that I have for you is a platform called Hypeddit and a type of landing page that's called a download gate. The way it works is that you offer some type of digital download, whether it be a song, an album, an exclusive video, sample pack, guitar tabs, or whatever, and you put it behind a gate where they can only access the downloaded content by passing through the gate. And that gate can be a bunch of different things, including an email. It can be pre-saving a song, follow you on Spotify, checking out your Instagram profile, and a bunch of other things, but here we're just using email. So let's set up one of these download gates right now using Hypeddit, and we're also going to install a Facebook pixel, and we're going to run a Facebook ad campaign promoting that download gate to grow our email list. Now, I do have to mention that that Hypeddit is sponsoring this video, but I've been using their service for years prior to them ever sponsoring a video. This is the first sponsored video I've ever done for them, and I really like their service. It's as far as smart link services go, I've compared a bunch in the past, and I've consistently said that Hypeddit's a great option. It's a really good value. And if you use my link in the description, you can get a 14-day free trial, I believe it is. And if you went through their website, you'd only get 7. So use the link in the description to get a 14-day free trial and run a campaign. Test it out. See how it goes. I think you'll be happy with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Share Music up here. And these are all the different types of links you can get. We're going to be focusing on download gates here. So with the download gate, we're putting a download behind a gate. They have a very similar thing called a link gate, which essentially if you had a private stream or a coupon code or something, or let's say Dropbox link, Google Drive link, whatever, you could put that link behind a gate. So it works exactly the same. But we're going to be doing download gate in this case. So the first thing we're going to do is get a source URL for our track. So what I did here is I just pulled up my Spotify, and I'm going to go to my singles, and I'm going to go look for my song Black Hole. I'm going to grab the track URL, copy song link. We can flip back here, paste that sucker in there. The genre doesn't really matter. Hypeddit has a bunch of internal charts to kind of track things. I'm just going to choose pop. It's not really pop. Now this is where we upload our audio file. So it can be MP3, WAV, AIFF, or a zip folder. So if you wanted to do something like a video or guitar tabs or sample packs or something, you could use a zip file. So I'm just going to choose a file. All right, so I found my MP3 file, so I'm just going to add that here. It's uploading, and it's done. So I'm going to click Next. Now, it imported the artist name and song name from the Spotify link, so that's why they want it, essentially. We can do the design. I always remove the Hypeddit logo because I don't think fans really know what Hypeddit is, and I don't want to confuse them. Dark scheme, light scheme, entirely up to you. We're going to click Next. And this is where we actually configure our gate. So these are all different gate options. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see them. We're just going to be doing email here. So collect fan email addresses. I like to collect first names, but that's up to you. I like to address people by their first name in my email, but you don't have to do that. Now, you can have multiple gates. So you could say they need to download this track. They have to enter their email and follow on Spotify and save a track to their library on Spotify. You can set up multiple profiles or playlists for them to follow. You could have them pre-save a song instead. The more gates you add, the more expensive your campaign is going to be. In Spotify gates, anything the person has to log in to an account is going to be way more expensive. So I'd highly recommend just doing email at first. You could experiment with doing, like, if your download is really awesome, like early access to a song or a bunch of songs, then you could experiment with Spotify. So keep in mind, this will make the cost higher, but I'll probably cover that in a future video. So I'm going to remove that from here. We're just doing emails. These are kind of all the different services you can integrate as a gate if you wanted to. We're just going to click next, and I'll zoom out a bit. Now, you can have Hypeddit automatically email fans with another download gate after they do this gate. So it's a pretty cool feature, because one thing you could do is, if you have the one you're running ads on just be an email address, but then you can make another gate for a different song with a different download that requires them to do a gate for Spotify or Apple or YouTube or something. And then, you're kind of making this little email funnel inside of Hypeddit without even having an email platform. So it's really cool, and I recommend you take advantage of that. So, I might require them or ask them to interact with the song Sunrise, and it's going to be a Spotify gate. I don't know if I actually set up a Spotify gate in that one, but that's what you would do. Now, in Hypeddit, you can set up a pixel thing where you can just save your pixel into your account. I'm going to show you where to get your pixel right now. So if you go to Facebook ads, we're in Ads Manager. If I click up here and I go to Events Manager, this is where we actually grab our Facebook pixel. And Hypeddit has a place where you can save it to your account, so you don't have to grab it every time. I recommend you do that. But this number here, this pixel that I have, this is my pixel that's associated with this ad account. So I can just flip back over here and paste it in. And that's it. Now our pixel's on the page. So it's as easy as that. They do have other pixels. I won't cover them right now because they're just kind of complicate things, and we're not focusing that here. So I'm going to click Create. And now we have our Hypeddit download gate. So the thing is, we have to specify to Facebook what we want to track on this page. Like when people go to this page, they can download, they can enter their name and email address, and then they can share and get the download. But we want to be able to tell Facebook when that download occurs. So what I can do is I can copy this link, but I'll paste the link in here, open website. There is another tool called the Facebook Pixel Helper. It's a Chrome extension. That might help you if this test events thing isn't working. But see how now we're on this page, like we visited the page. And then now in test events, I get Hypeddit download gate visit. We can see that it's for this song, for this genre, for this artist, for this URL. If I come up here and I do download, we're still going to get nothing here. But if I come in and I just type in test@test.com, share email address, and download. And now if I flip back over here, we get Hypeddit download. So this is what's known as a custom event. Now, before we head over to the Facebook ads, I want to point out, to get your emails, you can just look at the link and go to emails captured, click the number, and you can either download all the email addresses captured by this gate or download all email addresses captured by all of your gates. That's one way to do it, but there is a smarter way to do it if you have an email service. So if you go up to settings up here and go to account settings, there's this section called automation. And I'm not going to click on it because I don't know if the code that's in here is a private code or not. But it allows you to set up what's called a webhook, and there is a tutorial on Hypeddit you can check out. But using something like Zapier or if this then that, you can configure a webhook that every time Hypeddit gets a download gate, it adds that email address to your mailing service automatically. And then you could have that trigger automation sequences and a funnel or whatever. So I'm not going to cover that here, but just know that it is possible, and I have it set up. And it works. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this green create button, and now we get the campaign creation dialog. We're trying to get leads here, email addresses, so we're going to choose leads, and we're going to click continue. I like to do everything manual. This tailored thing is just like a simplified thing. I don't like trusting Facebook to make decisions for me. I'd rather have a little more control most of the time. So this thing down here, Advantage Campaign Budget Plus, I'm going to turn that on. That's going to allow us to specify the budget at the campaign level. Don't worry too much about what it is. It just lets us pick the budget here. I just chose $15 a day, and I'm going to click next at the bottom. And now that's going to take us into our ad set. Now, the first thing we need to do is configure a conversion location. It's going to be on a website, right? Hypeddit is a website. So now this chooses our Facebook pixel, and it allows us to choose a conversion event, which in this case, we configured that Hypeddit download event. So I'm just going to click that. Now it's Hypeddit download. So this way, Facebook knows that in this campaign and in this ad set, the only thing that they care about is Hypeddit download. That's where they're going to tell you how much it costs per download. is by whatever event you put in here. So now we need to go to our audience, and I'm going to do just people living in this location, and I'm just going to do the United States. The reason is I run a bunch of ads promoting my music on Spotify, and if you want to check a video on that, check the most recent one here. I do it to like 43 countries to get the cost down. When I grow my mailing list, I want just the United States because my merch, it's way cheaper to ship in the United States because I live in the United States. So that's what I'm doing for this. There's a lot of different ways to approach the targeting. I'm going to do a lookalike audience, but for you, you're probably not going to be able to do that. So I'm going to assume what you would be doing. Pick an age range that's somewhat reasonable for your music, but that's a little bigger. Like if you think you should only be getting 18 to 34, do like 18 to 45 or 50. So, you know, maybe we'll just do 18 to 55. It's probably fine. I always go a little broader than I think I need with a conversion campaign like this, because the more freedom you give Facebook, the better they can optimize things generally. So 18 to 55, we're going to do targeting, and this just kind of picks some music that you think makes sense. I'm just going to go with my common example in videos and just choose Linkin Park. So this is fine. I get 14 to 17 million people. There's no magic number. It's just that's generally what I aim for. You could do automatic placements here. If you check out the video I recommended, you'll notice in that I tell you to never use it. But for this type of campaign, this event can only fire when someone gives you their email address. So I feel much more confident using automatic placements here. But if your video is only going to work in certain situations, you might want to do manual and turn off a bunch of placements. So now we can flip over into the actual ad, and I'm going to turn off multi-advertiser ads. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We need to add our video, and so I can do add media, add video, and it's a video of me singing along to my song Black Hole. Like that's it. I'll put a little sampler here. So as you can see, super easy. Like that's it. Now for primary text, this is going to show up next to our post and feed placements. Now for the headline, you could say something like download now or free download, something like that. Description doesn't really matter. Call to action, probably learn more. I think sign up is too salesy in a way. Listen now kind of applies, but I probably would just do learn more. And then website URL. This is just going to be your actual Hypeddit link. So I'll just open this up here. And I'll grab the link and flip back over to Facebook ads and paste that sucker in there. So yeah, now we have a campaign. I would advise you to probably test multiple videos. So I can duplicate this thing right here. If this is ad 1, and then this is ad 2, then you'd go down here, swap out the video with a different video, maybe do 2 different parts of the song, 2 different visual styles, whatever. You could also do multiple audiences and test it out. There's a lot of things you could do, but let's check back and see how this campaign actually went. All right, so now we're going to comb through this data. Our campaign's been running at $15 a day, and it has spent about $116.33. Let me just make sure that I have all the data here. Maximum, yeah. Okay, cool. So it's spent $116, pretty good amount of data for a test. Again, this is only US only. We get 45 emails at a cost of $2.59 per email, which is actually reasonable. For the United States, I'm happy with that result. I have had campaigns that are better, and I've definitely had campaigns that are worse. But this is a pretty solid result. So, you know, if this is your first campaign ever, it's fine if it's worse. Usually your first campaign is going to be the worst one. And as I said, I was going to do a lookalike audience. Lookalike audiences, like I uploaded my mailing list of a couple thousand people to Facebook and made a lookalike audience based off of that. So that's another advantage that I have that you might not, is that I have the advantage of data. If I go inside this lookalike audience, I only tried one video, but I highly recommend doing multiple because you never know exactly what's going to work. And actually, I didn't realize when we set it up, I showed you a performance video, but I actually used a lyric video. And so if I click edit, it's a full song lyric video. That would have been one of the easiest things for me to test. I don't know why I didn't do a lyric video in one and then do a 20-second clip of me singing along to the chorus in another and just seeing what happens. So definitely experiment. And I also added like download a free song to the headline, just a slight tweak. And I did try the sign up text option. So it's up to you. There's a lot of things you can change, but these are the results that I got. Now, the email software I use is called Drip. If you want to check it out, I do have a link in the description as well. What I do is when that Hypeddit event fires the webhook to Zapier, it triggers the email to get sent to my Drip account, and it fires this automation sequence. So what happens is, as soon as they get the Hypeddit tag applied to them, it's going to wait 5 minutes and then send them this email inviting them to join my Studio Pass. So just a different email funnel that I have. I didn't just want to start sending it to them. I wanted to invite them, but I might change this in the future just because I had some other ideas to try. And so 35% of the people that received this opened it, which is actually pretty solid. And then 4% clicked it, 5.6% unsubscribed, which, you know, more people unsubscribed than clicked. So on one hand, that's bad, but on the other hand, that's good because I don't want them on my list if they don't want to be getting the emails. Like, I'd rather just get rid of them from the get-go than waste money having them on my list. So, but 35% open rate is great. So that means the people that we're getting on this are actually like, they're opening the emails. Like, that's a great result. It's going to wait 1 day. It's going to check if they join the Studio Pass. If they said yes, then they just exit this little sequence. If they said no, then I'm going to send them a bunch of links to where they can find my music online. And about 18.7% opened it, 1.5% unsubscribed. So even that's 18% opening, it's good. I could probably do a lot of testing to get the open rates better. And honestly, I think I want to add like maybe 4 more emails to this, just spread out across 2 weeks to try to bring them into my list, warm them up, get them to sign up for other free experiences and pull them into my world. I could do a lot more extracting. And we've had about 208 people go through this, 250 actually. So this is a pretty good data pool. If you want to see how I use Facebook ads to generate nearly 4 million Spotify streams on my solo project alone, you can check out this video right here. It's my most recent one that shows you how I'm doing things right now. And if you prefer a much more organized course with access to my country list, placement targeting, and a community to ask questions, you can check that guy out right there. Thanks to Hypeddit for sponsoring this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.